Morning everyone, welcome back to another video. We're back on site, back on the garden house build. Today is finished block work day. Picked up a couple of things this morning, a couple of lintels. We ran out a bit of sand, so I had to pick up a little bit more sand, a couple of bags. We'll finish off this today, so let's see how we get on. Move it up. Let's go up. Hang on. What's done at the back? Just these two courses here. That's the back done. Once you do the back, you just need to another set of insulation there. 4 courses on that side. That side will be done. I've been working on this area here. Just a little bit more to finish here and run around that corner there. This side is at height already. We need to put 1 brick on the top and a block of the brick on that side, and then we're on height for our lintels. We've got the lintels, but we're going to fit the lintels tomorrow, so we're going to set this and let this set properly, just because the lintels quite heavy, concrete lintels. We're going to set them tomorrow, and I'll show you guys what lintels we're using and why we're using them. So we also got padstones to put in, which we got today. We're going to lay them today. So we've got padstone going here. That's the center of the padstone. That's going to sit here, and the other one is going to sit exactly on that wall there. 300mm padstone, and that's 300mm there. It's going to sit on top there once I put 1 more block up, and that's where our steel beam is going to sit. It's going to sit from there, and the other end is going to be there. Once we get it to height, we've only got a little slope on that side to do, and then a little slope on that side to do. Hi guys, here's the quick update. Today's been more of an update video. Not being able to film too much, just been a bit hectic. Some days are sort of like that. A lot of grafting. As you can see, we've done quite a lot of block work today. We pretty much finished the block work. Minor, there'll be a few sort of cuts on the gable ends of the roof, but we need to get the roof in first before we can do those last little bits. So we're prepared for our lintel above the door, which is here. Come up with a slight little issue, but we've figured out what we're gonna have to do with it. Basically, there's meant to be a padstone on this wall, which should be the exact same padstone as the one that you can see on there. So the steel beam will sit on there, and then it will sit on there. Now, being that the padstone is 300mm and takes the entire width of this column, there's no space for the lintel to sit that runs across the window. So what we have to do is we're going to, instead of putting a padstone there, which is 140mm high, we're going to use 140mm lintel. Just get a wider one. I did have a 140mm lintel, but I need to get a lintel. It was going to be a bearing of 150mm, which would have gone to about the center of here, and then it would sit on 150mm on that side. But we're going to use that lintel as our padstone, so it's pretty much the same thing. So we need our lintel to go all the way to here. So instead of having a 900 wide lintel for a 600 opening, we're going to use an 1100 lintel. I think it's 1100. Yes, 1100, and that will go all the way to the end of the wall, and it will give us about 20mm bearing on that side. So we'll put that on across the top, and that's what our steel will sit on as well, that concrete lintel. So I need to replace the 900 lintels that I picked up today, concrete lintel, and replace it for 1100. So I'll do that first thing in the morning, and then we'll put those lintels on. We'll put those 2 big ones across here. Now these lintels are actually not going to be load bearing. They are, the roof doesn't sit on these lintels at all, so they're not actually load bearing. And also, even though we've got a cavity wall here, We're not actually putting cavity lintels in. That's what's on the drawing, the architect's design. But also, there's no space. If we put a cavity lintel on there, there's not much benefit of it, because we can't build brickwork above it, because it's basically going to go past the roof. So it's literally going to be 140 mil lintel sitting on that, and then we're pretty much under the roof line. And all of this is going to have a secondary roof covering it as well, so it's not really an issue of water ingress anywhere. So basically, yeah, it's just going to be a lintel across, and then the roof is going to be right above it. And as I said, there's no roof. There'll be no roof sitting on it. The roof is going to be hanging off the steel beam, and the rafters are going this way and that way, and none of them are going to be sitting on here. So tomorrow's job is, actually, I'll just show you. Mr. A was doing some block work on this side. He's pretty much finished the exterior block work, bar we're short of 5 blocks. So we're gonna do that tomorrow. Pick up a couple of blocks. We'll finish that off tomorrow. We'll put the lintels on. What else have we got to do? We have got the wall plates to put on. So we've got a wall plate to put on along here, which is a 2x4. Then we need to fix some hurricane straps on that as well. I will also do the same thing on that side, put the straps on. And then we will literally be waiting for the steel beam. And once the steel beam comes, which sit on that pad, I will sit on that pad, then we'll build our rafters off that, and then nail them down to the wall plates. So how our steel beam is going to be, is basically going to be a steel beam across here. It's going to have, on this side of the steel beam, there will be a 150 mil timber inside the web, and then there'll be joist hangers off that timber, and then it'll go across to the wall plate on that side. On the other side of the roof, there will be a 2x4 bolted to the top of the timber. Well, actually 150 mil timber, sorry, bolted flat on the top, and then it will be built up with a double 150 mil joist, I think, and then it's going to then have joist hangers off it, and then the rafters will sit on the wall plate here. So it's sort of like the right hand side of the roof will be built up above the steel to give it some extra height, and it will run across. So the full height of the ceiling on the lower apex will be 2.4 meters. On the higher apex will be 2.8 meters. And I think we've got something like 2200 mil on that side, and something like 2 meters on that side, or something like that. So this side of the ceiling will be slightly lower than this side, but it will be vaulted, so it will feel a lot bigger in here. So yeah, that's pretty much all we can do. And otherwise, we're going to do a clean up. I started doing a little bit clear up. The guys are just gone. It's after 6 now. I'm gonna leave myself. We do a little bit of clear up, get this place all ready for our hardcore to come in, which I'm going to order tonight. Get all our hardcore in, get our sand in, get our insulation in, and then we'll get the concrete truck. We'll get our concrete in and cover this floor. Another interesting feature I forgot to mention, this wall here is going to be a feature wall. So it's actually going to be covered with brick slips. So what brick slips are, they're basically sort of like the equivalent of a tile, but an actual brick. So it's like, if you imagine you cut a brick in, like slice a brick down thin, and then you sort of tile it to the wall, and then once it's tiled, you sort of point it like you would point a normal brick wall. So yeah, this is going to be sort of like a black brick featured wall. So originally we were going to build this wall out of black brick, but really and truly it didn't make much sense, because we need to put electric cables and so on, and then chasing the walls and all that stuff, and it didn't make sense. It makes sense to build it in block, chasing, put all the electrical cables, outlets, etc., and then tile it with the brick slips. So that's also going to be a feature wall. Everything else in here is going to be plasterboarded, and because of the noise, many people have mentioned about the noise, there will be lots of efforts to minimize the noise. Obviously, the outsides of this wall here will be cladded, but also in the inside, we will be using soundproof or sound grade soundboard plasterboard. So there's one that's specifically for sound deadening, which is a higher density plasterboard. We'll be using that on this wall. And there's also going to be, I think they're called resilient bars. They're basically sort of like metal brackets that screw to the wall, and they give a separation between the plasterboard and the wall. So they sort of have these metal strips that screw to the wall, and then the plasterboard screws onto those, and they're sort of a distance, and they're supposed to dampen sound through the wall. So that's what we're going to be using the walls as well, and that will help with the sound deadening of the room. But to be honest, as I've been in the room, as the walls have gone up, it's actually become a lot more quiet. I mean, you can still hear the train, but obviously there's no roof. But for instance, we've got a little radio, we play music. When I'm playing music in here, I can barely hear it when we were working on the other side of the wall. So it sort of feels like you're in a room when you step in here again. So yeah, I think it's going to be fine once we do it. Also, good shout on the someone was mentioning about the extract fan, and yes, the client actually informed me he doesn't want the extract fan to be on the outside just in case of vandalism. So what we're going to do is we're going to fit it on that wall here, but the fan will be above the shower, and we'll duct it in the roof, and then we'll put the duct in the alleyway on that side. So yeah, that's about it really, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope you guys are understanding this complex process. Well, until tomorrow, we'll see you soon. Take care.